Okay, hey everybody, thank you for joining me. My name is Jacob, and today I'm starting a Python for beginner series. And today I'll be discussing a variable in Python. Okay, all right. What is a variable? So a variable is a container that holds a value. Think of a variable as a label on a box, on an item. So anywhere that box or item go, you know that you identify what is inside that box by the label. Okay, so if for example we have a variable name like his name, let me say name equal to Joan. Okay, if we have a variable name like this, so it means anywhere you see the name, okay, you should know that that name is Joan. Okay, so it's a label that indicate that, okay, anywhere you see this label, it is Joan. Okay, so and then variable in Python, because Python is a dynamic programming languages. Okay, unlike in some programming language where you have to explicitly declare the data type, in Python you don't need to declare explicitly. You don't need to tell Python the data type. Once you call the variable and you assign a value, the equal to you are seeing here is an assignment operator. So we are assigning John to name. So anywhere we call name, we are having John. So if we print if we print name now, okay, we'll be having Joanna. Okay, we'll be having Joanna. Okay, so what this means is whenever we use anywhere we use this variable in our program, it tells us who or what that name symbolizes. Okay, so variable are there as a label. Think of it like a label. So anywhere you see that label, you know that the information or the value that is inside that box or whatever it is attached to. Okay, now like I said before, Python as a programming language is a dynamic programming language, which means that it's immutable. It is something you can change. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily need you to tell what data type you are dealing with. Okay, so now what are data types? Okay, so in Python we have a string, which is this. Okay, then we can have an integer value, let's say age, which will be equal to 38 or 39. Okay, and then we can also print this out. Okay, we can also print the age. Okay, and when we run it here, we have 39 and we have Joanne. Okay, then there is also another data type which is also a float. Okay, that's a value or having a value that has decimal. Okay, let's say height. Let's say height. Okay, height, which should be equal to 6.5. okay, so this is a float. Why? Because it has decimal. Okay, so we can also print the height. Okay, and then say height. Okay, then when we run it, we'll have a 6.5. okay, so these are variables that have different data type. One is carrying a string value, another one is carrying an integer value, another one is carrying a value with decimal. Okay, and we call it float. Okay, that's a floating value. Okay, then another data type is a Boolean. So let's see if Joanne is tall. We can say is tall. Okay, is tall, which is equal to let's say Joanne are not normally tall, so let's say it's false. Okay, so say false. So we can now print is tall okay, and then when we run it, we see our answer. So is it tall? False. What's the height? 6.5. What's the age? 39. And the name Joanne. Okay, so all of these are information. So variable help you to store information. Okay, and like I said before, so Python is a dynamic language. Okay, so I can still change any of these value if I want to. Let's say Joanne, let's say I made a mistake and say, Joanne is 39 instead of she's just 18 years old lady. So I can say, I can reassign a value to it. I can say age equal to 18. Okay, and when I print age, okay, where is that? When I print age, I will have 18. Okay, so this is how Python works. Okay, so the ages, the value you assign to a variable can change. It is mutable. Okay, it is mutable. It can change. That's what it means. So when you hear the word mutable, it means it can change. So what the value you assign to a variable can change. You can change it anytime in your program. And if at any point you don't want to change, you have to explicitly declare it and create a class for it. Okay, by using the data classes. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. This is just a beginner friendly example. Okay, all right, so this is how to create a variable in Python. Now, if for example I want to tell Python that, okay, this particular variable, it should have I want to tell Python that this particular variable should be of type string, I have to explicitly say it. Okay, I have to explicitly say it like this. Okay, and then I'll say string. Okay, and then with the assignment operator. Okay, so this is how to declare a string data type in Python. If I want to declare an integer, I'll have to do something like this, and then an integer. Okay, and then if I want to do height, the same thing. Okay, all I need to do is just to declare that it is a float. Okay, and there we are. Okay, and then here I can also declare it's a Boolean. It's a Boolean data type, so I can say Boolean. Okay, yeah, Boolean. Okay, I spelled something wrong. Oh wow, okay, all right, so this is it. So when we run our code, for example, we are still getting our variables. Okay, we are still getting our values. Okay, so this is how to create variable in Python. So like I said, you can create it without explicitly telling Python the data type you are dealing with. Okay, and you can also create it telling it that this variable, the type. Okay, now there are also rules that guide when you are creating variable in Python. This variable helps you to know that there are certain things you must not do and there are certain things you must do. Take for example, you cannot create a variable with @ okay, you cannot say @my_name @my equal to what name this time, Kemi. Okay, this is wrong already. It's already throwing error for you. You don't declare a variable with a symbol. Okay, variables are not declared with a symbol. Then again, you cannot declare a variable with number. You cannot say 2 to tango. Okay, you cannot say 2 to tango. Okay, as a variable name. No. Okay, a variable name cannot be declared with a number. It is not allowed. Okay, then you cannot declare a variable with a space. My home. Okay, my home. No, you cannot declare a variable like this. A variable cannot be declared with space. Okay, so what are the best way to declare a variable? Okay, so if you want to declare a variable, you use underscore. Okay, just like I did here. So here I can say my underscore house is equal to Yaba. Okay, so this is how to create to give a better and conventional naming to your variable. Okay, and another thing is you can also declare your variable with underscore. So underscore my mother, okay, equal to, okay, at home. Okay, you can say she's 439. Okay, so you can declare a variable with an underscore. You can declare a variable with space. Okay, it's still an underscore. Okay, but you cannot declare a variable with with space with any symbol at all. Okay, all right, so this is how to declare a variable. Let me take you back. I said that variables are containers that holds value, and when you are declaring this value, this variable, you have to give them value. Okay, and when you give them value, this value can also change in Python. Okay, in some languages like Java, you can't change it. Okay, it must be what you give it. Okay, all right, so you can assign an integer value to a variable and still change it to a variable, to a string. Okay, all right, so this is how to create a variable in Python. You can tell Python that this is the data type you want. You can choose not to tell Python the data type you want. It doesn't matter. Okay, and I've said that Python is a dynamic language, and because it's dynamic, it doesn't necessarily worry about all of type and all of that. So it is mutable. You can change it and tweak it to the way you want, but you must note that any variable you are going to use, you must continue with it. So each value you provide for a variable, you must hold on to it. Okay, and do not create room for such a variable to change, okay, at the long run. Okay, if you have questions or you have a comment, drop it in the comment box and I will be glad. So thank you very much. Join me same time as I continue this series. You can like, share and subscribe.